Once, in a quiet village called Akinwa, there lived a boy named Eo. Eo was only 10 years old, but his life was filled with sadness. When he was just a baby, his parents died in a terrible accident. Since then, he lived with his uncle, Uncle Ted. But Uncle Ted was not kind. He treated Eo like a servant. Every morning, before the sun came up, Eo had to fetch water, sweep the compound, and cook food for his uncle. If Eo made a mistake, Uncle Ted would shout or even beat him. The only time Eo felt happy was under the big Iroko tree near the stream. He loved the sound of the birds and the way the sunlight sparkled on the water. He would sit there, dreaming of a better life. One day, while fetching water, Eo saw something strange. A shiny object was sticking out of the sand by the stream. He dropped his pot and dug around it. To his surprise, it was a small, golden bracelet. The bracelet sparkled in the sunlight. Eo stared at it, wondering who had lost something so beautiful. He looked around, but there was no one nearby. Carefully, he picked it up and decided to take it home. When Eo showed the bracelet to his uncle, Uncle Ted's eyes grew wide. "Where did you find this?" he asked sharply. Eo explained, but Uncle Ted snatched the bracelet from his hands. "This is mine now," he said, grinning. "Go and finish your chores." That night, Eo lay on his mat, unable to sleep. The bracelet didn't belong to Uncle Ted. He knew that. Still, there was nothing he could do. As he closed his eyes, Eo whispered, "One day, I will find a better life." The next morning, something strange happened. Uncle Ted, who always woke up early, didn't leave his room. Eo peeped inside and saw Uncle Ted lying on the floor. He was clutching the bracelet and groaning in pain. "Uncle, what's wrong?" Eo asked. But Uncle Ted couldn't answer. Panicked, Eo ran to the village herbalist, Baba Ogun. "Please come quickly. My uncle is very sick," Eo begged. Baba Ogun followed Eo back to the house. When he saw Uncle Ted, he frowned deeply. "This sickness is not ordinary," Baba Ogun said. He pointed at the golden bracelet. "Where did this come from?" Eo explained everything. Baba Ogun nodded slowly. "This bracelet is cursed," he said. "It belongs to the river goddess. Your uncle's greed has made him sick." Eo's eyes widened in fear. "What can we do to save him?" he asked. Baba Ogun sighed. "You must return the bracelet to the river goddess's shrine, deep in the forest." Eo felt his heart race. He had heard stories about the forest, about wild animals and evil spirits. But he stood tall and said, "I will go." Before Eo left, Baba Ogun gave him a small calabash of holy water. "Sprinkle this water if you feel afraid," the old man said. "It will protect you from spirits." With the bracelet in his pocket, Eo stepped into the forest. The trees were so tall that they blocked out the sunlight. The air was cool and heavy, and strange sounds came from every direction. As Eo walked deeper into the forest, he heard a rustling sound. He stopped and turned. "Who's there?" he called out. But no one answered. Then, he saw two glowing eyes in the bushes. It was a wild cat. The wild cat growled and crept closer. Eo's hands trembled, but he remembered the calabash. Quickly, he sprinkled some holy water on the ground. The wild cat sniffed the air, hissed, and ran away. Eo let out a shaky breath and kept walking. After hours of walking, Eo reached a clearing. In the middle stood a stone shrine. "This must be it," Eo said to himself. He stepped forward and placed the bracelet on the altar. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. A bright light filled the clearing. Before Eo, a beautiful woman appeared. Her skin shimmered like water, and her hair flowed like a river. She was the river goddess. "Who dares to return my bracelet?" she asked in a powerful voice. Eo knelt on the ground. "Great goddess, it was my uncle who took your bracelet," he said. "But I have brought it back. Please forgive him." The river goddess looked at Eo for a long moment. "Your heart is pure," she said. "For your bravery and kindness, I will forgive your uncle." With a wave of her hand, the river goddess healed Uncle Ted. But she wasn't done. "You deserve a reward," she said. The ground shook again, and a golden light surrounded Eo. When the light faded, Eo found himself standing outside the forest. In his hand was a small pouch filled with gold coins. When Eo returned home, he gave the gold coins to Baba Ogun. With the help of the villagers, Eo built a new home for himself. As for Uncle Ted, he became kinder after his sickness. He realized how much Eo had done to save him. From that day on, Eo's life changed for the better. He was no longer just the orphan boy. He became a symbol of courage and kindness in the village of Akinwa.